2 games in a row, like how many points does he have to lose before he risks not even making the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that's possible.
It'd be pretty tough because he's way out in front. But so here we are.
All right. Dave looks like he's deep in thought.
Yeah, trying to sort it out.
This would be a good time to start the music in the background.
Fucking my goddamn ESPN app on my Roku fucking pulled the. I have to like relog into it. So just,
yeah, the streaming stuff is a giant pain in the ass.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was a way to have all the channels you wanted through like one single service?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Right?
You know, I also had a good idea. Like, you know how you can just like stream like movies to your, like right to your TV? What if you had a different store that you could go to and rent those movies and then bring them home?
There's a thought.
That would be so cool.
Blockbuster idea there.
And then you could like
walk wouldn't it be easy if you didn't have to worry about misplacing your phone and you just had a phone that was attached to the wall in your house and a cord? It would be awesome too.
We could make that cord like super long and stretchy.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, instead of having to use gasoline, you could just hook a fucking horse to a wagon and have it drag you around town.
Yeah, I think that these are really sound ideas. Let's file these away for another day.
Yeah.
See if the patent office has heard about any of these also, because there's a gold mine we're sitting on with these brilliant thoughts.
I was talking. I don't even know.
All right.
Talking.
3, 2, 1, go.
Start.
Boom.
Cue the music.
Oh, boys, we're at it again. We got 12 weeks in the books. Got one team with no losses, one team with no wins. Got a whole lot in between.
Nice synergy. It's really well balanced.
Yeah, it's a circular motion, really.
It's around and around.
Just harness the good,
down.
block the bad.
Round and around. Up and around.
Send him home. His bags are packed.
Harness the good energy.
Got his airline tickets.
Harness the good energy. Block the bad.
All right. Well, this has been a good hot start.
Having
let's dive into some non-gibberish, shall we?
Yeah.
So where should we start? You want to start with what you were talking about, Mikey, before we hit the record button?
Oh, I think that's a terrible idea. Yeah, no, I mean like the season-long haves and have-nots are sort of kind of rounding into form here as we sort out the last 2 weeks of the regular season, right? So we've got, Kenya Diggs is already locked up the number 1 overall seed and the bye, and Hulk Hands stands right at the precipice of doing the same. He's got, dead money this week. He goes against us in week 14, a radical vertical impact simulation, which, the week 1 anomaly notwithstanding is essentially a bye for Joe. So like he, would really need to stumble in ways that are difficult to foresee in order for him not to lock down the other bye and the number 2 seed. But from there, we've got 2 teams sitting at 8-4, Beaver Tamers and Dead Money. Bill Cosby Sleepers at 7-5, and currently, based on, I think points, right? Lord of the Slum, both on record and points, sitting at 6-6 would be the last playoff team. And then if you look down at the bottom, the jerk off bracket, we've got DJ Booga Sugar. I think at this point, based on points, he's got such a safe lead on the basement that even if he were to go on a 2-game heater, he'd still probably finish below. They'd finish behind Marcone, and then Marcone at 2-10. Those guys I think have basically sewn up the buys in the jerk off bracket, and so that leaves Derry Sanders sitting at 4-8, but with a good point total. Team Traz just scuffling again to a 5-7 record, and frankly not a very good point total. I mean, I think they have sort of locked up a spot in the jerk off bracket. And then the 2 teams sitting at 5-6-1, Radical Vertical Impact Simulation and Mac and Chase, are really really differently situated based on points. Mac and Chase has a lot of points already in the books, and they're going to get Jamar Chase back sometime in the next week or two, and so those bottom of the table teams like can't really get enough wins to even like get a playoff spot based on record at this point, especially if Bill Cosby Sleepers is able to knock out one win in the final 2 weeks. So the like top 5 playoff spots going to take 7 wins minimum to secure one of those wild card spots. And then it's really a 3-horse race unless we see some, unimaginable scoring from teams who have struggled all year. It's Lord of the Slums out 5.5 points, or 5.8 points rather, ahead of Mac and Chase on points for that 6th spot. Derry Sanders lags behind Lord of the Slum by 76.9 points. And, if Dead Money or Beaver Tamers stumbles and loses twice down the stretch and needs to rely on points, Beaver Tamers way the hell out in front. Dead Money is sort of, 42.4 points ahead of Goldberg and the Lord of the Slums. So, like, if he loses twice and looks shitty doing it, he could slide out of playoff contention based on not being able to secure that points spot. So it's I don't know, it's kind of interesting, right? I mean, Mikey needs some big point totals because he's going to have to win 2 games probably down the stretch against Diggs this week. Doesn't look good. And then he's got Mac and Chase in week 15, which is a bad matchup, because the, Cincinnati components of Maxson's team ought to be like humming at that point. And so like Goldberg is probably going to be stressed to do it on record. But if he can put up good points, even if he loses one or both of those games, he should be able to secure that 6th playoff spot. So that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Essentially, Lord of the Slum, Mac and Chase, and Derry Sanders are in a points race for the next 2 weeks, assuming that Bill Cosby Sleepers can pull 1 win out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's basically where we're at.
Yeah, that's
so.
Right.
If Andrew knocks off Dom this week, or if he knocks off me next week, then it's just a points race between me, Mike, and Billy, of which Mike is in the lead. Billy is very close behind, and I am 76 points back. So I need to have a couple more blowout weeks with them stumbling. I think last week kind of made it a little bit of a false positive with how shitty they were, and then I actually got in the money.
Yeah,
but
it closed the gap, in a way that you wouldn't have anticipated. But, if things go off the rails for any of the current playoff teams and they have terrible point totals and hang 2 losses in a row, like things could get weird, because Billy Mack is a bit of a variable, like because of his points. And well, I guess both, technically both Mackeson and our team, because of the tie that we're sitting on from early in the season, like, if we have the same number of wins as anybody else, we're going to be ahead of them on win percentage. So
yeah, but the only teams that you can threaten are Lord of the Slum and
Bill Cosby Sleepers. So it's really if Bill Cosby Sleepers falls off a cliff. Yeah, Glenn's already got 8 wins. He's clear of us. Yeah. And so is Beaver Tamers. So things would have to go off the rails, I guess, really for Andrew and Goldberg. But if that happens, things could get odd because of that tie.
Goldberg's a serious risk because of the points. That's so volatile. He almost can't get in on wins. 1, because he's got Diggs this week, and 2, like his 8 wins, Andrew will probably get to 8 wins. He's going to lose that. So like Goldberg is just points at this point. Like it doesn't, like, the wins and losses don't matter anymore for him.
Well, and then I think the nice thing, I mean, good or bad, right? They're all intra-divisional matchups, but obviously within divisions, there's some, tomato cans, and there are some really tough matchups and stuff like that. So depending on, various teams' draws and stuff like that, we'll know a lot more after this week, right? Because, with one more loss, we're eliminated, which I'm hoping for. if you don't have a huge week this week, then you're going to be out of reach of catching somebody on points and stuff like that. And these 8-4 teams, Bill Cosby sleeper sitting at 7-5. If any of them win, that basically like locks up a wild card spot for all of those teams. So
basically, if Andrew wins, it's a points race.
Yeah, that's right. And
that's all
now
it is.
the other interesting thing, of course, is that we'll get to our game of the week, but it's a no-brainer at this point, right? I mean, it's in that division. Dom and Andrew go at it, and if Dom wins, he wins the division because I'll put him 2 clear Andrew. But if Andrew wins, they'll be tied in the division, and you'd have to look at what's going on. Yeah, well, and they're both doing really well within the division, but so I don't know, where we would end up. We'd have to look and figure out all the time.
Yeah, so then it'll go to week 14. They'll both have to win. If they both win in week 14, they're both going to have the same division record. Then it's going to go to head-to-head. If they're 1-1, I think they will be. Then it's going to go to total points.
Right, and at that point, Dominic has a lead, but not a commanding lead, like 50 or so points, right? 45 points, if my math is right. And so, like, if he gets his balls stomped this week, that points lead will be gone too. So, really big week for Dominic, as far as, and for Andrew, right? I mean, because Andrew, he like teeters on the brink of playoff certainty. A win this week, I think, locks up a playoff spot for him for a variety of reasons. I think
he's virtually certain too. Like, he could go 0-2. And then he would clearly have the most points of the remaining teams.
Yeah, I mean, he's 42 points clear of Glenn. He's 90 points clear of Goldberg, and he's like 167 points clear of you. He's 96 points clear of Billy Mack. And so, like, if he has a shitty stretch, as long as it's not a super low scoring shitty stretch, he's got a pretty substantial lead on the points race. So, like, for everybody who's chasing points, right, they're rooting for Dominic to put Andrew out of the playoff race. So, I mean, there's a lot of, sort of interesting shit that's going to work its way through here by Monday night. And, I guess we'll get to this when we get to this. We may talk about, the matchups for the next 2 weeks at some point. But, like, obviously week 13 is a light bye week with only the Cardinals and the Panthers on bye. And given how those two teams have underperformed, like, that's probably not crippling for most teams. You go to week 14, you got a bunch of crappy teams with individual, stars. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, Saints, and Commanders all on bye in the week where you got to potentially win to get in. It's pretty rough. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I didn't reset the rankings from last week. I don't think there's really too much movement, honestly. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
Still pretty much the same. I guess since Andrew won. Because like we just said, with one win, Andrew's pretty much in.
Yeah, he's more in control of his own situation than Bill.
Yeah, we got to move Dave to someone's got to go. That has to happen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's kind of more like now 2 of them got to go. That's almost like instead of somebody's got to go, it's somebody's got to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like, depending on how things break, that 6th playoff spot might be just no bueno. Like, everybody may be actively trying to avoid it in 14. But we'll see. I mean, look, you got to, you never know.
The top 4 team last week.
Yeah. And hey, weird shit happens in weeks 15 and 16. Get a couple of breaks, and you could have a team with a losing record.
I don't think that anybody is that excited about facing a Billy Mack team that's all stocked up with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and stuff. Like, that's not very exciting to do.
No.
Like, no thanks.
No, I mean, that's Goldberg got off to that hot start, and he's really kind of struggled down the stretch, and like, Yeah, I feel bad, but the dudes we traded him for Treylon Burks, like that was a losing trade in hindsight because, Tony still can't stay on the goddamn football field. And I have no idea why the Jets traded for James Robinson only to keep him inactive for the first 2 weeks of his career with that team and run out like some dude who all the talking heads are high on, but I didn't even know the guy was alive and part of the football team, which shows how disconnected I am this season. But like, I don't know.
I don't think anyone knew that, honestly.
No, but I mean, to your point, right? Dave's team seems to kind of be coming together and not walking away from McCaffrey after that trade is pretty hot if he can be healthy down the stretch. And obviously Mackison, has stumbled a little bit in the absence of Jamar Chase and having some trouble sorting out his tight end position and things. But man, like if those guys get back on the field, he's as dangerous as he was in the early weeks when we thought he was going to be really a good team. So, And I don't know, man, like it just feels like the Bengals with Burrow have sort of like found this late season switch, even when they look sort of listless in the first 10 weeks of the season, like down the stretch, they've been really good with him, and Bill could ride that a long way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're an interesting team.
I know one person in this 3-person panel that is hoping that Bill finds a way out and into the jerk-off bracket.
Because the jerk-off bracket sounds more fun, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, geez, man, there's some bad history we don't want to revisit as far as Billy Mack catching fire.
I mean, I'm already resigned to the fact that I'm going to go undefeated and then lose after my first round bye.
Yes, I know.
You cut this out at the end of the season. Like, I already know it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
I'm not even reverse psychologying myself or anything. No. Reverse jinx. It's going to happen. I know it.
Yeah, you can put that one in the skin box, dude, 100%. And the beautiful thing is it's going to be somebody like Tyler Heineke, throwing for like 7 touchdowns and running for 2. That's going to be the difference in the game. It's going to be great. I'll feel bad, but you've had a hell of a run.
Oh, you won't. You guys will all be throwing your little party. Derek Loss.
I'm not going to lie. I'll laugh hard about it. You know that.
We're going to be like the 72 Dolphins when you lose.
Exactly.
Your crusty old fucks.
That's funny.
All right.
So let's pick some games.
Gotcha, motherfucker.
Smitty's got a lot to say, and you all are going to hear about it. Let's see. Weekly fantasy previews. All right.
And there's like no lineups. At this point, we know these teams.
Yeah. Hulk Hands versus Dead Money. That's probably game of the week, part 2.
Game of the week on my
screen. Yeah. I think that's another. I mean,
so we'll finish with those two.
I mean, yeah, Glenn's coming in at 8-4, and Hulk Hands is at 9-3. So while Hulk Hands has like totally sewn up a record-based, somewhere between points and record-based playoff spot, I guess if he goes on a 2-game losing streak, the result of that will mean that some other teams have caught him at 9 wins. So,
yeah. You want to pick that one, or you want to save that one for the end?
I feel like we should talk about that one, and the 2 divisional deciding games are obviously our 2 co-games of the week.
Yeah, I think that's right.
All right, let's start here then. DJ Bugga Sugar. Will he get his first win?
I hope so.
I don't think so.
I think they came real close to outscoring us this week.
Did they? Hold on. Let's go to the fucking tapes. Let's see. Mike, 169.7. DJ. Oh, they outscored you, Mike.
They did. They outscored.
Got 188 points this week. It's their best point total since week 4.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we're pulling for them to have another big week. To try to get ourselves in a.
I'm taking DJ Booga Sugar.
Are you?
Down. market.
Yeah, we lost Gardner John, the lacerated kidney safety or whatever. He lays the lumber on the first hit of the game and lacerates his own fucking kidney. That was awesome. So we'll have to backfill for his
The fucking football guy move right there.
productivity. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. He goes on. I'm not sure if they put him on IR yet, but like I think that will make like 9 guys on our roster that are on IR at this point. So I would hope that DJ Booga Sugar could beat that, but we'll see if we can field a full team.
Do you guys know what today is? November 30th. It's Joe Perone's birthday. I picked DJ Booga Sugar. Happy birthday, Joe.
We're gonna try to gift Joe his first win of the season. Happy birthday!
You can do it, guys. Come on.
Come on, guys. Go. All right. The other
this
crap
is
matchup. What do we got? Oh, yeah, this one.
Diggs versus Lord of the Slum. The website has Lord of the Slum winning.
That's hilarious.
Do you have a lineup plugged in?
No.
All right, well, here, let's do a little exercise that's called Say Something Nice About Lord of the Slum. Week 9, Lord of the Slum outscored Diggs. Week 10, Lord of the Slum outscored Diggs. Week 11 and 12, So,
Less.
2 on, 2 off. Maybe he's due. Probably not.
We'd have to go back and look at the schedule, which I don't have in front of me. But I feel like perhaps like the first time these two teams matched up, it was like game of the week, and we were like, this is going to decide this division.
Yeah, exactly. He shits the bed every time he plays me for some reason.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I feel like that might have been the first of an extended losing streak. Like, that was the beginning of things going horribly.
Yeah, because he started off hot.
Yeah, he started off like a house on fire.
You're right. I think it was week 7. I think Derek was 6-0. I think Mike was 5-1, and it was like game of the year, and it turned into
boat race.
It turned into the Georgia Oregon game from week 1, where it was just like, well,
that happened. Yeah, no, but I do think that Goldberg like lost at least 3 or 4 in a row, and that was the first of them. So there is a measure of revenge here for Goldberg. I'm just concerned that he doesn't have the horses. He didn't make a ton of moves that worked out for him at the trade deadline. And I think Diggs is just a little too stacked. But to your point, Dave, he outscored him a couple times in recent history. So perhaps.
Yeah, I'm going to take Lord of the Slum in this one.
Yeah, I know you're hoping, Mikey. I know you're hoping you can get your loss and down week out of the way before the playoffs, but I'm taking Diggs.
Yeah, Mikey, for the record, Goldberg started off the season 4-2. Yes, 4-1. So he went 4-1 on his first 5 games, and since then he is 2-5. So not great.
Not great, Bob.
Not great.
They call that the Cleveland Browns.
More like the Cleveland Steamers.
The Cleveland Steamer, yeah. All right,
Chase. The Browns are. Deshaun's coming back to Houston this weekend, and a guy sent around a note today saying, any Browns fans want? I said, you could have stopped at any Browns fans because the answer there was no. But want tickets? I'll give them half off. And my buddy replies, he goes, if you pay me the face value of the tickets, I'll take them from you. That's going to be the Nick Chubb show, dude. That guy could run for 700 yards against Houston's run defense.
No,
I mean, they won't wear him out like that, but he could go for that many if they wanted to.
All right, well, let's get through these games here.
Yeah, Mac and Chase.
This is Mac and Chase for me.
Yep.
I mean, Craig's team stinks.
Yeah.
Look at fucking Beaver Tammers with his lineup in already. Gotta say, Dom, you're a fucking pleasure to be in a fantasy football league with.
And he's sharpening his teeth. He wants a piece of the big cat.
I know he does. He's fucking awesome. He's out there making moves. He's fucking weathering storms, injuries. Like, the guy's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he really is.
He's a fighter. He's fighting.
Yeah. He is. He's a scrapper.
Yeah, he's like.
I respect that.
I do. So,
I'm going to
Tip of
pick
the
him.
cap to you. Yeah.
I'm going to pick him.
Yeah, I'll go buck the trend. I'll go with Andrew.
Now I'm going to take Beaver Tamers here.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll score 167, but yeah, I think Beaver Tamer wins this pretty handily.
Yeah, I guess so. You're probably right. I mean, he's been winning all season. Why not now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got TJ Watt back. He didn't do a whole lot in his first. I mean, he affected the game, but he didn't post massive points. He's due, man. That guy is going to go bananas at some point here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's see.
did we have any other crappy games, or are we into the good ones now?
I think
That
we're
was
into the
the
good
first
ones.
good one.
Oh, no. Darius Anderson, Team Traz, we haven't addressed.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
don't
did I
forget about
miss?
me. Shit.
Yeah, you skipped right by. Speaking of shitty games,
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Oh no, they're at the bottom.
Well, hey,
right where they belong.
hey, come on, go easy on us. We're out here. We're trying. Trying to make our best. I'm obviously gonna pick myself. That's a given.
Yeah, I'm taking Team Traz on this one.
Yeah, I think I think Nick Chubb could win this game for them. By himself.
I think so too.
Yeah, I said the same thing about Jeffrey Wilson last week. So
yes, but Jeffrey Wilson
one
and,
said that
and
about
Nick
Jeffrey
Chubb
Wilson.
are two different people.
oh, a lot of people said that about Jeffrey Wilson, Big Cat.
Yes, and they were all incorrect because he's Jeffrey Wilson, not Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
He did pretty good.
Yeah, it was going around Twitter that Jeff Wilson was fucking Ezra and James out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way it goes, man. Yeah.
All right, so I got one Darius Sanders. I'll take the Traz boys.
I'm taking Traz.
All right.
Derry all the way.
Right.
Here, refresh this, Big Cat. I set a couple sample lineups.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Way to go in the background being productive.
Tyreek Hill, nice picture, bro.
At the bat. His neck looks like a
He seemed surprised that someone was there to take his picture. Oh, boy.
It's a
boy, oh boy. Here we are.
Yeah, I think Eddie Jackson's dead.
Yeah, I mean, like the computer certainly likes Hulk hands, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins facing the Jets. That's nice. At 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. He's coming off of his best primetime performance in 100 years, too.
Joe has some juicy matchups here.
Oh, great matchups. And I mean, he's all over. Like, I guess the only downside is that
he's starting two Jags receivers, but they are against the Lions.
They're against
free agency's or Fab's gonna run tomorrow morning too. So
and then look on the other side, right? I mean, they're not going to wash themselves out entirely, but like they kind of will, because those wide receivers aren't going to score a touchdown unless it's thrown to them, and he'll get the yardage benefit, but I mean basically he's got two wide receivers whose production is tied to his opponent's quarterback. So that's kind of a weird dynamic there.
Yeah. So that actually helps Glenn a ton right there.
I think it does, because it negates, Joe being able to run away with those two potentially productive wide receivers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those two guys can't have a good day without Lawrence also having a good day. Right. And obviously Joe's going to realize more potential, but it's going to offset itself, I think, a little bit. So
a little bit. And who do the Chargers play this week? I mean, Eckler's sort of matchup proof at this point, but
yeah, the Chargers play the Raiders, so that's a pretty good matchup.
That's a useful matchup. So I don't know. I mean, I keep kind of glancing at Glenn's team, and I'm like, that's a charade, but it's not. It's a really good lineup, actually, top to bottom, with the exception of Brandon Cooks. So,
I mean,
and Cook should be good. He's just catching. he's catching footballs from career, third stringers. No offense.
Yeah, who's the quarterback now?
I don't even know. I mean, Davis Mills will be a perfectly serviceable backup quarterback to Caleb Williams or whoever Houston drafts number 1 overall.
Like that guy at least wasn't he wasn't good.
No,
he wasn't starter material, but like he's way better than whoever they fucking trotted out last week.
I mean, the guy, I can't even
that guy shouldn't have been on the field.
No, that is correct.
Hold on a sec. I have to fact check you there. Davis Mills.
He's really bad as a starting
2,144 yards, 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in 11 games. So the guy turns it over once, he throws a touchdown. And
I'm not saying that guy's good, but like he could at least like quarterback the team where they would have like a chance to win. Like the guy last week, there was zero chance that they were going to win that game.
That's exactly right.
They got nothing. They got nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Davis Mills is a guy that you like. If you plug him in behind a actual NFL quarterback for 2 or 3 games, you're fine, and you might win one of them. But you can't start that dude for 16, 17 weeks. It's going to be a one in everything season. So anyway, no, why are we even talking about? Oh,
I don't know.
Brandon Cooks. No, because Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah,
Brandon Cooks is handicapped by the quarterback situation in Houston.
You know what? I'm going with Glenn here, and here's why. Glenn beat Wallace in week 7. If Glenn wins, he locks the division.
No, because he could lose next week and Joe would win and Joe would retake it.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
But he's got the division by the fucking balls because that means next week Glenn's playing you, isn't he?
No, Joe gets us next week.
Oh, well then Glenn's playing Danny. So what's the fucking difference?
Oh wow.
So it's Glenn wins.
Yeah.
He essentially wins the division. If he I mean he deserves to lose it if he can't beat Danny and Joe.
That's right.
So this is a bigger game than you think. So
this is a huge game.
That's a great point.
I'm gonna go with my guy Joe, who's gonna fucking choke it away and not get home. Suck it, Joe.
I just let's look at this
Joe's
a little
gonna
closer.
Beat him by 100. Watch.
Yeah. So
What are you going to do, Derek?
I'm taking Hulk hands, and I'm predicting he will score high points this week.
Is he due? Is it a Hulk hands high points week?
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
gonna be a big week.
I'm almost out of batteries. Hey, man, they still your battery.
You know what? A big thing on Joe's team too is the defensive scoring. I feel like the offenses are relatively even in this game. Like one of these defensive players
on defense.
Well, but Glenn has Roquan Smith, which that guy could score like 35.
He hasn't been doing. He's not been the guaranteed stud.
It's a different system. It's a different system in Baltimore. It's frankly more good defenders than they have in Chicago, obviously.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to do everything there. But yeah, I'm gonna take. Actually, it's a hell of a point. I was about to take Glenn because of the deep. Screw it. I'm going to take Glenn. I think that Tyler Conklin's going to punch above his weight with Mike White throwing to him, and he's got
White
Evans
so hot right now.
I know you could turn. Yeah, we could do the Zoolander line, but I feel like Evans is due for a big game. McLaurin's sort of due for a big. If they all go off at the same time, Glenn will be unstoppable. I'm going to pick Glenn here, and then I'm going to run in and find a power chord. You guys cover the game of the week, and I'll be back.
That was it. We're done.
That was the game of the week. All right, Big Cat. Well.
Oh, that's right. We picked that game, didn't we?
Screw it. Wonderful talk.
If I hang up, I hang up. Well,
if you watched to this point, don't forget to drop a like on it. Hit subscribe.
Subscribe. Get more awesome content just like this.
We'll try to self-edit a little better next week.
No, we won't.
No, we probably won't. That's almost certainly correct. But anyway, we should know a lot more about where things shake out after Monday night. So good luck to everybody. Hope it's a fun week. Kind of shaping up to be one.
Good luck, boys. Go get them.
Make it interesting.